conversation. So I want to thank you so much, Mr. Dent. After just talking to you last week, I was so impressed with your philosophy about business, your integrity, your the heart of a teacher. I just wanted you to share with my audience a little bit about who you are, what you do. So could you tell me a little bit about your company? Tell us a little bit about your company and what inspired you to start this type of business.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Michael Vance. I am very grateful and very much in appreciation for your inviting me onto this call and to be introduced to your audience. And I want to tell you how impressed and grateful I am for meeting your acquaintance and finding out what a tremendous contribution you are making to this community in the business sector in particular. And it's a privilege to get acquainted with you, and I thank you for this opportunity. But as far as my company, I'm a realtor for 24 years, full-time license. My company now is with EXP Realty, which many in some, if not many in your audience, may not have heard about just yet. But what's unique about EXP Realty is it's the nation's first 100% cloud brokerage. We don't own any brick and mortar location, stores, or buildings, although we have worldwide office access on the occasional need when that's needed with the worldwide Regis office complex all over the world. But I'm with EXP Realty, and as so far as what attracted me to the real estate business, was that the second part of your question?
Yes, yes.
Well, as you mentioned, I've always been a bit of an entrepreneur since I was a kid. I ran a painting business when I was a kid in high school, which I carried with me into college as a college student, and ran a painting business in college as well. But when I got off into my chosen profession of education, pedagogy, and school administration in particular, having served as not only a classroom teacher, but for most of my career, a school principal and a local school system superintendent, and my last position in my education career as a college vice president and associate professor of education, I've always had a passion for teaching and helping. Teaching and helping, and that with my entrepreneurial bent, when I decided to leave the education field, I found that real estate, career in real estate was a good match for my entrepreneurial bent and penchant, as well as for teaching and helping others.
Nice. Well, Mr. Dent, you're an accomplished educator. What is your why? What is that something that motivates you each morning to get up? You've accomplished a lot in your life. What is that thing that motivates Mr. Joe Dent?
Well, that's a good question. There are several texts in the Bible. I read my Bible regularly, study my Bible. And there's a particular text in Philippians 2:4, which says, let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interests of others. And that text kind of sums up my philosophy. I have found that by helping, particularly in business, it's a good business, sound business philosophy, as well as a Christian principle, if you're looking out for your interest, the best way to further and to prosper your interest is to look out for and work hard for bettering and improving the interests of others. And that's kind of what gets me up every morning. I look for an opportunity to, when I get up in the morning, I say to myself, there's somebody out there that needs my help. Lord, just allow me to cross paths with somebody who needs my help and the unique skills that I can bring to help them solve a problem, or realize a dream, or a combination of both.
Yeah, I really feel like that philosophy is going to impact our community. That's one of the reasons I wanted you on the show, because of your heart of wanting to give. We were talking and you said something to me that I hadn't heard any realtor ever mention. You mentioned that the fact that climate change is impacting homeowners across the nation. I've never heard anyone say anything. Would you elaborate and tell our audience a little bit about what you mean by how climate change is affecting homeowners?
Yes, yes. Of course, climate change and the impacts of global warming and climate change are grabbing the headlines almost on a daily basis. Uh, but yet, there are not many people who have made and who have realized the connection between the impacts of climate change and housing and real estate in particular. We read about it and we hear about the floods and the fires, but not many people realize the direct impacts and connections and implications that these threats and these risks have on existing homeowners and potential or future homeowners. I'll give you a couple of facts. In 2018, if you can believe this, in the United States, this is not other parts of the world, developing countries, this is right here in the United States. We have documented, those who do this kind of research, 1.4 million American homeowners are considered climate change refugees.
Mm.
They were forced to move because of the impacts of climate change. 1.4 million. Added to that is the fact that insofar as fire risk, there are 60 million American homeowners right now who live within 1 mile of a high risk of damage or loss from wildfire. 60 million right now. In terms of flood risks, there, according to NPR and other studies, the Army Corps of Engineers, there are some 15 million American homeowners that are living in areas that are at risk of devastating floods. I know a little something about a flood, by the way. My family and I suffered a devastating flood of our home in Nashville, just 100 miles from here in Huntsville, 30 years ago. I bought a home that flooded, not once, but twice before I moved away from it. I was a climate change refugee about 30 years ago, so I can tell you about that firsthand. But yeah, the risks of, and by the way, if any of your members of your audience want more information, I can provide you with 6 questions every potential property owner should ask about the risks of flooding, and 6 questions every potential property owner should ask about the risk of fire danger as well.
Wow, that's good. That's amazing. That's good information. You were also saying that on your website, they go to your website, there's a lot of information they can get from your site. And by the way, I'm just gonna let you know, you've got one of the best websites I've seen in a long time. It's very interactive, very engaging. The videos that are there, the information, if you wanna look at the cost of your home, give an estimate of what the cost to sell that home is there. You have so many tools on your website. Tell our audience, what are some of the things you can help someone interested in buying some property? How can your company assist them?
Okay, well, first of all, just a word about my website in case you have any real estate professionals, realtor professionals in your audience. That website is a gift of my company. My company provides that. I can't take credit for that company. Every EXP agent is provided with a helpful, information-packed, lead generating, I should also add, website. So that's where that comes into play. And that's another reason, by the way, I joined the EXP international franchise. We're in 6 foreign countries now. The latest of which is South Africa. We just entered the country of South Africa.
Nice.
But as far as helping someone with the purchase of a property, I'm the author of 3 books, 3 real estate books, one of which is a book for home buyers. I have taken my love of learning, for teaching, for helping others, and I have taken the training and the experience of working with hundreds if not thousands of clients in the past 20 plus years, and I have summarized all of that information into a book for buyers as well as 2 books for sellers. In the real estate industry, and so far as helping people with buying a home, we have identified, Michael, not many people realize this either, 123 variables that come into play when it comes to purchasing property or purchasing a home. In other words, 123 variables that can change or go either way. The mismanagement or not being aware of any one of which, or ignoring any one of which, can have catastrophic emotional and financial impacts on the home buyer. And so that's one of the ways that I help homeowners, particularly first-time buyers, as well as experienced buyers, is to help you identify and proactively manage those 123 variables that come into play at various points along the way when purchasing a property. I also have a report that I provide, I offer to my clients. Some of them, when I offer them to them, when I tell them what it is, they say, I know you can keep that, I don't want it. The report is, once you go into contract, this is once you go into contract, I have come up with 100 ways that deal can die. Or go sideways, or go off track. So that's one of the most important jobs as a real estate professional. I like myself as an airplane pilot, you know, I try to minimize the turbulence and prevent us from crashing once we take off. But yeah, there's 100 ways we have identified that a real estate deal can go sideways or derail or just plain die, just can't crash. So it's my job to help to minimize those risks and impacts as well.
Good, good. So we were talking about buyers, people looking to buy property. What if you have someone that is on the other side? They've got properties they want to sell, or they might be able to, you're trying to get rid of some properties. Can you assist them? Do you have ideas for them as well?
Oh, yes, yes. Again, by the same token, I have taken all of my years of practice with many, many clients and families and training. I have 6 professional real estate designations, those funny looking letters behind my name. They're not degrees, they're professional real estate designations. I've taken this advanced training, and again, I've summarized it in the book that I have written, that I've authored, How to Sell Your Home Fast for Top Dollar. Simple title. But again, by a similar token, we have identified in the industry 81 variables that come into play when it comes to selling a piece of property. This mismanagement or ignoring or not being aware of any one of which can have, as I mentioned before, devastating financial and emotional consequences and impacts. But I have come up with, as a result of working with industry leaders in my industry, those who are most successful, that's how I have learned how to sell property and help clients. I have looked at the leaders in my industry and I've tried my best to copy them. And in many cases, try to do better what they have already found to be successful in helping people. And as a result of that, and as explained in my book, those home sellers, property sellers who follow the principles and tips and tactics and tools in my book, I found that my listings on average sell for, again, as I say, on average, 2.8% more than average, and in 20.8 days faster than average. And in a particular sale that is coming up here this coming Tuesday, 2 days from now, 48 hours, I'm taking a property to closing. And if you can believe this, this property received or got, because the home seller followed the tips, tools, and tactics in my book, How to Sell Homes Fast. In 1 week's time, in 5 days, I put it on the market on a Monday, and it took it off the market on a Friday. And in that 5-day period of time, we received over 130 showing requests.
Oh.
And we were only the clock only allowed us to allow 55 showing appointments, on average 10 a day for 5 days, which resulted in 12 offers, the highest offer being almost $30,000 over the asking price.
I'm impressed.
May I throw this in?
Go ahead. Yeah,
Because
please.
of the way real estate has changed, and because of the amazing contribution that technology has given us, just like you and I are having this meeting virtually, I have not met the property owner. The property owner lives in another state. Her name is Desiree. Desiree and I have not been to the property. And we sold this house with 55 showing appointments, $30,000 over asking price. I haven't seen the property in person yet. But the technology allows us to do that today, in a way that we have not been able to do that before.
Awesome. Well, I have one more question for you. You've been doing this for a while, and you've been in the industry, real estate industry. You're a professional. You've watched others in the top of your field. You've studied them, try to do what they're doing better. Tell me, and where do you see the future of the real estate industry going in your eyes?
You see my finger?
Yeah.
I'll give you one simple reason. Well, two really that are combined. One, as we all know, population is continuing to increase. We haven't figured out how to, well, I mean, we've kind of figured out in some case how to make fewer babies, but for some reason, more and more babies are coming into the world and increasing the world's population. But by the same token, we haven't figured out how to make any more land. We can only work with the land that we have, if it's usable, and not all of the land, of course, is. So the population is constantly going up on a fixed amount of land. For that reason, real estate is always going to go up in demand and in value. I'm not sure how wide-ranging your audience is, whether it's just the northern Alabama or outside of this area, but I'm very excited to take a residence here in northern Alabama, Huntsville, to find out that Huntsville, being the fourth largest city in the state of Alabama, I've discovered since moving here, I didn't know this before I came, but USA Today says that Huntsville is one of the top communities leading the nation's economic recovery. Money Magazine says that Huntsville is one of the nation's most affordable cities. And livability.com, I just read recently, says that Huntsville is the number 40 slot on the top 100 best places to live. So Huntsville is a very good real estate investment or residence or even career choice for anyone looking for a place to live and work. And so I'm very happy to be in such a bustling, robust, and economically viable community of Northern Alabama and Huntsville.
Well, I want to thank you for coming to Huntsville and bringing your company, bringing yourself, your ideals. I believe that you're going to be able to impact a lot of families here by the way that you do business. Um, Before we close, give us some parting words that you would like to share regarding your company and regarding what you're going to be doing here. You're new to Huntsville. I've been in this community since July of 1988, and everything you said about being a city where it's a very nice place to raise a family. The quality of life here is very nice. The community itself, property taxes are some of the lowest across the nation. We have a highly educated population with three major universities here. Uh, Alabama, University of Alabama, you have the Oakwood University, which is an HBCU. We have Alabama A&M, which is HBCU, and then we have Drake College, then Calhoun University. So you have a highly populated community that's highly educated. Along with that, uh, we have Redstone Arsenal, which is our biggest employer. They employ 40,000 people. And then we have the second largest research park in America, soon to be the first research park. And so Huntsville is moving forward. Uh, and when you mentioned technology, I thought of the fact that Google is actually investing $350 million in this northern Alabama area, 45 minutes from Huntsville. They're going to have a data center in Scottsboro. Facebook is investing $750 million in Huntsville, Northwest Huntsville, for a data center. So when you mention technology and real estate, your company sees something that other companies don't see. To have a company that's totally online with no brick and mortar, they see the future. Would you give us some parting remarks before we wrap this up? Again, appreciate you sharing your insight, your talents, your knowledge with us today.
Okay. You're mentioning Huntsville, and as you were describing all the kudos that Huntsville can boast, what makes this community talented and unique, talented and gifted, if you will, as they say in the school. I had a friend who recently was called into jury duty, and in the jury room, the person who was leading out asked for a show of hands of everyone in the jury room who was connected to the technology sector. And my friend, who is an attorney, said that just about every hand went up in the jury room of individuals who are connected with the technology sector. So let me illustrate exactly what it is that that you are saying. But insofar as parting words, yeah, real estate is changing rapidly, and like many other industries, most other industries that are surviving, is relying more and more on the cutting edge of where technology is and where technology is taking us. And again, as I say, that's one of the main reasons that attracted me to my company, EXP Company. It's not just a real estate company, it is a technology company that is entirely housed, as I mentioned before, in the cloud. And it's a company that allows a real estate professional like myself to help a client in another state with a property that, as I mentioned before, I have not seen, and she and I have not yet met together in person. So the company is that flexible. So an individual who is looking for someone to consult with, to help with in a real estate related manner should look for an individual who is affiliated with a technology driven company that is on the cutting edge of the technology growth and trends that we are seeing in our company. It gives that the practitioners and the members and the associates with that firm the agility, the flexibility to continue to serve their public. Where the nation and all industries are doing their best to pivot, to go virtual and go to the cloud that was triggered by this awful pandemic and COVID-19. My company has been doing this for 10 years since the day it was founded, since the day it started. So I'm very excited to be associated with eXp Realty. And again, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to speak with you and to get better acquainted with you and the leadership that you are bringing to this marvelous, amazing, and exciting community of Huntsville in Northern Alabama.
Well, Mr. Joe Dent, thank you so much. With eXp Realty, if you Google Joe Dent eXp, he'll come up. You'll see his big, beautiful face with a big, beautiful bow tie, probably green. And he's right there. You can go on his website, and he'll be more than happy to help you either purchase some property, help you understand the different variables if you got to sell some properties. But he is available here to serve you. Now, again, I want to thank you. If anything I can do here at stewardshipofwealth.com with you, please let us know. We'll be happy to share more information with you. And we got to do in the future, we got to do a workshop or something, first-time home buyers, put something together online. So think about that. Maybe in the future, we can get someone, because there are some insurance areas that need to be covered. And sometimes people make bad decisions about not getting the proper coverage they need in certain areas. So maybe that's something. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I forgot to mention, I because of my love for teaching and learning, or did I mention it, that I have put together 3 webinars, if you will. One for buyers, how to help them buy the most homes, the least amount of money with the fewest hassles. Another webinar for home sellers, covers a principle in my book. And a third webinar seminar I put together for home buyers who are planning to build. I put together a specialized seminar for new build, new home buyers that I would be happy to share. But again, by the way, my website is easy to remember. It's joedent.com, JOEDENT.com. Simple as that, my name.com.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Brother Dent. You have a wonderful week and happy selling.
Thank you, Brother Michael, and all the best to you, sir.